you've been in the music industry forever. You know, I mean, you got a huge fan base that goes back, what, 15 years?
Yeah.
You know, why did you decide to open up your life to reality TV? Because the thing about Love and Hip Hop is that you don't get final edit on it.
You don't.
You know what I mean? You see it when we see it.
Right.
So it's a little bit scary.
It is.
You know, you're rolling the dice a little bit.
It's true.
I mean, were you a little worried getting into it?
Well, I did have, you know, some reservations about it, only because, you know, in the industry, perception is everything.
Yeah.
You know, and of course, like seeing what, you know, the brand represented, I was like, man, I don't know about that. Me and Baby talked about that early on, because I was like, I don't know, you know, like the people don't represent themselves, you know what I'm saying? But yeah. I really felt like, you know, after sitting down and really like talking to, you know, my better half about it, and, you know, everything that I've gone through as an entertainer, and, you know, the type of progression, you know, that I want to have in the industry, I think it takes something like this, because truth be told, you know, I was born in the analog age. You know,
yeah.
A lot of the kids that come up now come up in the internet. They didn't have to do the footwork I did.
Right.
You know,
I went to reels.
You feel me?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the digital age now, you know, so I think that this was, you know, because I've kept my life private, but that's because I was taught to.
Yeah.
You know, I had media training, and I was taught to articulate. You know, that's foreign to a lot of entertainers now.
Right.
You know, so I felt like this would be a great opportunity, not only for me to, you know, curate, you know, my life, but, you know, for people to get insight and to have their own opinion on it, like they do every damn thing else.
Well, you know, you talk about perception, right? And a lot of people think, especially in the social media age, that if you ain't got no songs on the radio, you're broke.
Come on now.
But, you know, for example, I just interviewed Sir Mix-a-Lot,
yeah.
And he told me he made over $100 million off of Baby Got Back. A lot of times when people get into the music industry, they don't know about publishing.
Yeah.
They don't sign good contracts. They have lawyers that do bullshit with them.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, how much did you know in the beginning? You know, do you feel like you got screwed in the beginning, or do you think you had your business right in the beginning?
Well, first of all, money can mess up everything. I don't care if, you know, it's your best friend or your cousin or your blood relative. You know, anytime, you know, you're dealing with someone that doesn't have a certain level of experience in money and, you know, maintenance in that, you know, you're gonna bump your head. You're gonna go through certain things. I don't feel like I completely got screwed, but I definitely feel like the game wasn't given to me like it should have been given to me.
A few dollars out there still
you feel me?
Gotten.
But I think that's what makes or breaks you as an entertainer. It's like your ability to be able to fight through that, you know?
Being in a relationship with Omarion,
Yes.
who's always kind of represented himself as a sex symbol,
Yes.
you know, and has women throwing themselves at him all the time. Like, how difficult was that?
Honestly, it wasn't difficult. I think that when I first started dating him, we walked into this situation knowing what it was. He was still dealing with women, and I was okay with that. And, you know, I gave him the opportunity to feel like he, you know, I gave him the time to get that over and done with. And then we were able to build our relationship.
Gotta have a real one, you feel me?
Yeah, like,
gotta have a real one.
At the end of the day, he was honest about it.
Hey, look,
Guys
I need
aren't
to
gonna
do
be
my
honest
thing,
about it.
baby. What's up?
He needed to
I needed to get
rocks
that
off.
off.
And it was
I
like,
need to
okay, get your rocks off. Do I need to get my rocks off? Maybe not. But, you know, get your rocks off. I'm here. You didn't have to be honest, and I respect you because you were. And after that, I didn't have no problem. Women are not an issue for me. If he wants to pump and grind on the stage and he wants to do what he does, it is all entertainment.
It's part of the show, y'all.
It is a part of the show. So, you know, it is what it is. But when it comes down to me entertaining, when I have to pump, I hope you still feel the same way. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, I don't have a problem with that. I think it's all comical. I love women. You know, I understand that he loves women. How can you not? We're beautiful creatures. And it is what it is.
Tell him, baby.
Do you guys have an open relationship?
We haven't not stepped into that yet. Now, would I want to step into that? Maybe so. I mean, I don't know. Now, maybe would he? I don't know. We have to talk about that. I'm sure he might want to dip into that.
We ain't talked about it yet. We ain't talked about it yet.
That's up to me.
We'll talk about it after
It's up to
the
me.
show.
It's up to me. So
It
what I
is. It's
pick and
so
what I
tight.
choose is what we pick and we choose. But we have not discussed that. I'm sure we might have some fun. We're young. We have a lot of life to live. So,
Baby, don't tell him everything. Damn.
well, I'm just saying, we might dip and dabble. But
Baby.
right now, we not dipping and dabbling.
We focus. We getting this bread.
We on a straight line. We got a son, so we don't need to be dipping and
Well,
dabbling.
you know, so like the one thing that I always remember about you was when you showed up on Punk'd. You remember that?
Yeah, man, that was so long ago. Wow.
Remember that episode?
Bow Wow
when
got
you
the
were
boy.
you were chilling at like
Yeah,
this girl's
they were like,
house.
"Oh,
and then her dad came in.
Try to get the boy. I said, oh shit. Yeah, that was a good episode.
Have you had some real situations like that?
No, actually, you know, I've never put I don't like to put myself in situations where I gotta like sneak out a back door or anything. Like if I'm doing stuff like that, 9 times out of 10 I ain't supposed to be there. So I'm cool. I keep everything. Hey, you got any company? Or, you know what I mean? But I don't got to do that no more because I got my baby. I got that in-house. Okay, you might want to get some in-house.
You gotta have it in-house.
You gotta have it.
And this is your first child?
This is my first child.
And you're a first child?
Yeah.
Yes.
How hard of a transition has that been? I mean, because people think they're ready for it,
Oh,
but
no.
you have no idea.
Whole nother level.
I know that when we spoke to Fizz, because Fizz has a child, obviously Cam, and the one thing that I remember that he said is, you get no sleep. Be prepared to get no sleep.
Ain't no
we
sleep.
Don't. And he has been gone for a couple
2 weeks.
Because
I was in Australia, came back, no
and
sleep.
I've been doing this by myself, and I have literally had no sleep. A bitch is tired. I am tired. I want to go home.
Any more kids on the way?
Oh yeah, we want 3 more.